While we've all been watching rockets and talking about AI, something massive has been quietly taking shape out in the Nevada desert. Today, we're going to dive into the source material that lays out what it calls a master plan, not just for a new truck, but for flipping an entire global industry on its head.
Let me ask you a question. What's the invisible engine that powers our entire economy? Really think about it. What's the one thing that connects the phone in your hand or the food in your fridge to wherever it was made? For the last 100 years, the answer has been the diesel truck. It's the lifeblood of commerce, the circulatory system that moves literally everything everywhere. But it's a system that's getting old, and it runs on expensive fuel and a huge amount of human labor. And that brings us to the core argument and the material we're looking at today. It basically says that the clock is ticking on that 100-year-old system. A massive shift isn't just coming, it's already here.
So, where does this revolution begin? Well, it all starts in a gigantic new factory rising out of the desert in Nevada. This is where, according to our source, the blueprint for a total logistics takeover is being put into motion. And this quote right here really gets to the heart of it. The way that Tesla Semi is framed here isn't as just a cleaner, quieter truck. No. The idea is that it's a completely new kind of machine. Think of it as a logistics-focused AI that just happens to have wheels. Okay, so how do you even begin to challenge a 100-year-old industry? Well, according to the source, the first wave of the attack isn't about speed or fancy tech. It's about something much more fundamental: cold, hard cash. It's a direct assault on cost. And the plan kicks off with massive scale. The target number being cited is 50,000 trucks a year from just this one factory. Now, to put that into perspective, in the world of heavy-duty trucking, that is a huge number for a single model. This isn't a pilot program. This is a full-on market invasion. And this chart shows the main economic weapon. At the end of the day, a truck is a business tool, right? Well, the source claims that the electricity to power a semi is more than twice as cheap as the diesel needed for a conventional truck. That one number completely changes the financial math for every shipping company out there. But it goes way deeper than just fuel. Think about all the things an electric truck doesn't have. You can forget about oil changes, transmission fluid, those super complex and finicky exhaust systems, and the real kicker? Less time spent in the repair shop. In logistics, if your wheels aren't turning, you're just burning money. So here's the bottom line. When you add up the cheaper fuel, the lower maintenance, and any potential incentives, the source projects that the total cost of owning a semi actually drops below a diesel truck. At that point, buying one isn't really a choice for a logistics company. It's just a financial necessity. But attacking the cost is just phase one. The second front of this disruption is maybe even more revolutionary. It's about attacking the one hard limit that has always defined logistics: time itself. And to do that, you have to completely rethink the person sitting in the driver's seat. Look, human drivers aren't incredible, but they are still human. They're legally required to rest. They get tired. And right now, there's a major driver shortage. The argument from the source is that an AI driver running on Tesla's full self-driving system just erases all of those limits. It can run 24/7. It never needs a coffee break. And it solves the labor shortage problem almost instantly. This isn't just about being a little more efficient. It's a complete paradigm shift. So what does it actually look like in the real world when a truck can just keep going and going and going without ever needing to stop for the driver to sleep? Well, the impact is pretty staggering. According to the source, a cross-country trip from LA to New York right now takes about 5 days, almost entirely because of mandatory driver rest stops. With a non-stop autonomous semi, it could take just 2 days. That doesn't just make shipping faster, it fundamentally changes the speed of the entire economy. So all of this brings us to the final piece of the master plan. And it's not really about building a better truck anymore. It's about creating an entire interlocking ecosystem, one that, in theory, is almost impossible for competitors to copy. The source breaks this down into a 3-part lock-in strategy. First, you have the truck itself, the hardware, designed from the ground up for energy efficiency. Second, you've got a proprietary charging network, these mega chargers built specifically for these trucks to refuel quickly. And third, the secret sauce, the FSD software, the AI that's been learning from billions of miles of actual driving. It all works together in a closed loop. So the argument here is that this is a full stack solution. Yeah, another truck company could build an electric truck, but can they also instantly build a coast-to-coast charging network for it? Can they replicate the billions of miles of data that the AI has been trained on? The source says no, they can't. And that creates this powerful competitive lock-in.
Now, why does any of this matter to the rest of us? Well, the source connects these dots to a much, much bigger picture. If you can slash the cost of logistics and double the speed of shipping, the cost of pretty much every single thing you buy could potentially go down. From this perspective, the semi is positioned as a powerful deflationary force, a weapon against inflation. And so that leaves us with the big final question. Is this a surefire plan that's about to completely rewire our economic infrastructure? Or is this one of the riskiest, most ambitious bets ever made in the history of logistics? That's the multi-billion-dollar question that's about to be answered right out on our highways.